You know what I've noticed about women?
Stop right there. Those jokes are in violation of the new hate crime bill in Scotland.
What? Observations about the differences between men and women?
Aye.
Okay. You know what annoys me about boomers?
That's discrimination about age, laddie.
What about zoomers?
Discriminatory.
What about jokes on experiencing different cultures?
Racist.
How about religion?
Illegal.
Body size?
No.
Oh, disabled people.
Disgusting.
Oh, I know, right?
No, the jokes about them are disgusting.
Ha! Gotcha.
Shite.
Officer Scotland, you've just participated in a comedy sketch that resulted in a punchline about disabled people. You are under arrest. All right, I'm back. I know. Been gone for a while. I've been working on something that's possibly my greatest one yet. I've done a lot of good ones, but this one's a good one. It's coming. Anyway, I want to talk about this headline that I saw in the Herald in Scotland, a newspaper I've never heard of and never read, and that's the type of informed takes that you come to the Lewis Spears channel for. And that headline is this: police told to target comedians under new hate crime law. That's right, in Scotland, a new hate crime law is being brought in that comedians and performers, including people that just perform in theatres, in movies, on radio, online, they're all very concerned about because there is a clause that seems to, or is being claimed to specifically target them. Something that obviously comedians would be very, very scared about, myself included, because I would love to perform in Scotland, but after that performance and a little bit of sightseeing, I would like to leave. I don't want permanent residency inside a prison cell for some of the jokes that I tell. So let's have a look at this new legislation that ironically is being brought in on April 1st. Oh, that's a bad sign, isn't it? April Fools! Comedians can't tell jokes anymore. How's that for a joke, you bigots? Oh, whoops, I almost forgot. I'm touring. Come and see me live, lewspears.com. Here are my dates. Enjoy the video. Police Scotland's officers are being told they should target actors and comedians under Scotland's new hate crime laws, the Herald can reveal. Training obtained by the Herald states that material regarded as threatening and abusive under the Hate Crime and Public Order Scotland can be communicated through public performance or a play. Now, obviously, that paragraph is deeply concerning to anyone who's a public performer, even people who aren't comedians, because does that mean that you cannot have a play about racism in which a racist character appears and they be racist to demonstrate how bad racism is or the downfalls of it? Like, what does that even mean? It seems super broad, super open, and the police's response to this doesn't make me feel any more comfortable. Because after a very reasonable outcry by people who are concerned about freedom of speech in Scotland, the police actually responded to this by saying that they're not going to be targeting comedians. Now, that does sound good. However, when you have a look at their expanded statement, all of that good faith interpretation of not targeting comedians kind of goes away. Here I have a statement from Police Scotland's Twitter. I didn't have it on my phone, so I'm carrying the laptop. How embarrassing. This looks a little bit weird. I look like a giant iPad baby. And their statement reads, "We are aware of inaccurate media reporting and commentary today about the training material we have in place for the blah, 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 the name of the bill. Police Scotland is not instructing officers to target actors, comedians, or any other people or groups." That'd be good. Imagine if the anti-hate crime bill was only targeting Sudanese people. That wouldn't be a good look, would it? The first half of their statement is great. They're not targeting actors or comedians or public performers. That's great. However, they then kind of go on to contradict themselves and say that the training material was based on the Scottish Government's explanatory notes which accompany the legislation. So they've gone, in our training material, we're not targeting comedians. However, the government wrote the training material that was explanatory, that helps us explain the bill to help us apply the law as intended by the people who wrote it. Like, that's exactly, you've just kind of contradicted yourself. You've gone, oh no, you guys are spreading disinformation. However, yes, that was material provided to us that helps us explain and understand the law, which then helps us to apply it, which just makes me think you are going to target comedians and performers. They then go on to say, this includes examples of a range of scenarios where offences might take place. So, yes, a comedian can be charged with this law if they are found to violate it, which seems to be incredibly subjective depending on the type of complainant and the type of officer that reviews the complaint. This does not mean officers have been told to target these situations or locations. So basically you're confirming everyone's fears. You're not going out there to take down comedians, but if you do receive a complaint about a comedian, they can and maybe will be charged with a hate crime. Our training for the new act therefore reminds officers of their human rights obligations, and it reflects all aspects of the new legislation, including the protection it includes around freedom of expression. Okay, that doesn't really make me feel much better because they've introduced all of this stuff. People have gone, hey, what about comedians, performers, artists, and people doing plays, movies, tweets, YouTube videos, TikToks? What about all these people that are creating things? Are they going to be subject to these laws? And the police have said, oh, we're not going to target them, but yes, if someone complains about it, we will investigate and prosecute them if we find them guilty. And that is what is really scary about bills like these, is that they're incredibly subjective. It's not like an assault or a theft where if it's caught on camera at least, or if there's several witnesses, it's pretty much objective. You know when a crime's been committed. If someone steals money from me, it's caught on camera and you can prove it, that it was them, then yeah, that's objective, that's a crime, it's taken place. But how do you prove that a comedian has committed a hate crime through a joke? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. And look, don't get me wrong. I hate racism. I hate discrimination of all kinds, all right? I have a very diverse crowd of people that come to see me, and I fucking love that. I've got all races, all gender expressions, all sexualities. That's fucking awesome. The more the merrier, and the more ticket sales. I love that. That's awesome. I love making fun of every type of person that comes to my show and including them in that. I'm not here making this video to defend a performer's right to commit a hate crime and then go, oh, it's okay, lynching is fine as long as I did it on a stage in front of an audience. It was just performance art, you know? I'm a method actor. I'm not saying that we should allow everything. What I am saying is this law seems incredibly subjective, not only because the police officer that will be reviewing complaints, say, about a comedian, will be reading jokes that are maybe not even properly transcribed, that are just like kind of communicated via the complainant's memory. Like, imagine a scenario where someone goes to see a comedian show. Say they come and see me. I tell a joke about a group they happen to be a part of, in a loving way, in a fun way, in a way that makes the entire audience, including members from that group, laugh and slap their knees and have a good time. Let's say one person was offended. They then complain to the hate crime department of the Scottish police force, and they have to kind of communicate my joke through their memory. They haven't filmed it, they haven't recorded it, they have to write down what they think that I said and also write down what they think that my intention was by saying it. Now that gets sent off, it's an incredibly angry email. Who knows if that person is actually telling the truth about what exactly I said? I mean, Lord knows I wouldn't be able to completely accurately transcribe what anyone else has said to me using my memory unless I recorded it. Right now, that a police officer working in the hate crimes department who maybe has a quota to prosecute people for hate crimes reads this biased account from an offended audience member that hasn't even really communicated what I said properly. Now all of a sudden I'm getting investigated for a hate crime for what is a joke that made the audience laugh. I don't understand how this bill would work when it comes to public performance. It seems incredibly subjective when you're looking at performance art, when you're looking at comedians, when you're looking at plays, when you're looking at live art in general, especially in a country that has the Edinburgh Festival, a place where over 3,000 shows are performed. It's one of the biggest live festival events on the planet. This seems like a really weird law to bring in that could absolutely be very, very easily abused by the wrong police officer or by the wrong complainant. And what else is problematic about this bill? Did you like that? Problematic, hey? They love that word, don't they? The people who support this bill. It's one of their favorite, most used words. This is problematic. We need legislation against it. What else is problematic about this bill? And this is, bear with me, a little bit further beyond my understanding of Scottish politics and the ways that their laws work, is I've seen a lot of Scottish people complaining that the police force is actually incredibly understaffed and overworked. And I've actually read a news article here about how the police force are trialing a program where they're actually not going to respond to a lot of crimes that are reported, right? So here you have the Scottish police force saying, we actually piloted a program where people called the police and we just didn't show up. because they didn't catch it on film. So that actually saved us a lot of time because we didn't have to investigate anything. And turns out if someone reports a crime and then you hit the delete button, the crime rate goes down. On paper, at least. So you have a significant chunk of the Scottish police force bragging publicly about not responding to a lot of crime reports in Scotland. And then you have this other department committing and saying publicly that they are actually going to respond to every single report that is submitted to them, including reports about comedians, people performing in plays, musicals. You know, like, this is fucking ridiculous that you have people that are experiencing actual physical crimes. Maybe they've been hurt, maybe they've been robbed. The police are going, oh yeah, we don't respond to a lot of those anymore, and look how good we're doing. Now you have this other fucking department going, oh, if anyone tells a joke that hurts your fees, we'll fucking follow up on it and make sure that they come to justice. I mean, priorities, guys. Either triple the police force so that you can handle this fucking bullshit and actual crimes, or maybe narrow your focus a little bit. I don't think a comedian or a playwright is actually committing a hate crime. They maybe are just offending an audience member that's discovering in real time that they don't fucking like comedy at all. And look, I'm not here to be an anti-SJW fucking comedian YouTuber. I think that shit is lame. What I am here to defend is funny and expression and free expression, okay? Because here's the thing about comedy. I've said it before on this channel. I've said it on podcasts. I'll say it again many times in the future. When you're writing a joke, you don't know it's funny until you actually go and perform it. And every single time you get up on stage, no matter how good you are at comedy, it ultimately is a guess. I think this is funny, but I need to make sure. And then you do it once, and it is never as good as the joke is going to be. And sometimes the funniest jokes that you write are the worst jokes that you perform the first time you perform them. There are countless times where I've gone out with edgier, more risky, darker material about groups, about controversial events, about fucking anything. Even some of my silliest stuff. The first time I've gone out there, it hasn't gotten a laugh. And then I workshop it and I do it again and again and again. And that is the type of joke that this hate crime bill is going to step on and stop from being created at all. Because if a comedian goes out there, say they're an Arab guy, and they're telling a joke about an Asian person or a different type of group, and they go out there with a joke that will become fucking hilarious and insightful and actually very welcoming and very in and understanding and sympathetic. But the first time they do it, it's clunky, it doesn't work, it needs more research done, they need to talk to a person from that group, they need to run it past a comedian from that group. You know, it just doesn't land the way that they intend it to land. Are they going to get charged for a hate crime even though their intention was just to make everyone, including that group, laugh, even though the joke came from a place of love? You know, that's the type of material that gets really stepped on. Stuff that could be fucking amazing that needs work. Or stuff that is amazing already is got everyone laughing other than one person who just fucking hates that they got singled out or their group got singled out. You know, comedy is about making fun of everything, about making fun of everyone, and it's honestly a very welcoming and loving thing. Or at least it should be. A comedian making fun of you or making fun of your group, like that's should, and at least in my case, always comes from a place of understanding and love, you know? I know this about you guys. Here's how we're different. Isn't that funny? That's most racial, gender humor that's really good, at least the stuff that I do. And these laws just fucking freak me out because they're super, super, super broad. I'm not fighting for every comedian's right to have their Kramer moment without suffering some repercussions. But I am saying that performers, especially not fucking playwrights, should be at the risk of getting arrested. Because while the police probably, you know, are telling the truth when they're saying, oh, we're not targeting comedians, we're not targeting playwrights, we're not targeting musicals and live performance, they are responding to complaints about those things. So it's just kind of fighting over words that don't even really change the anxieties and the fears that people are worried about when it comes to these laws. And I just think it sets a very dangerous precedent, especially for a country that is so well known for its banter, for its sense of humor, for its ability to take the piss out of each other in a loving way. Scotland just screams banter. That's the whole fucking country. That's the culture. So to put a law there that can potentially get people arrested or at least investigated for jokes told, I can't not say anything about that. So I'm back. That's my video. I don't like laws like this. I'm Lewis Spears. I'm touring. Come and see me live. Here are my dates. Subscribe, and I'll talk to you in a few days.